Chosen one, let us linger here for a moment and allow the weight of your uniqueness to settle deeply into your heart. This isn't just about having a special talent or standing out in a crowd, it's about realizing that your very existence is part of a larger, divine design. From the earliest moments of your life, there has been a subtle difference in the way you perceive the world. Perhaps as a child, you were the one who asked the questions no one else thought to ask. Maybe you marveled at the simplest wonders or sensed emotions and undercurrents that others were oblivious to. Even then, though you might not have had the words to describe it, you knew something set you apart. The Apostle Paul reminds us in Ephesians 2 verse 10, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Your spirit, crafted with intention, emits a distinct frequency that resonates with higher truths, deeper purposes, and uncharted possibilities. It was not by chance that you stumbled upon this message today. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates moments with precise intention. These words were not placed before just anyone, they were placed before you. If you find yourself here, it is because your unique essence is aligned with the higher truths of the world. C.S. Lewis beautifully wrote in Mere Christianity, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. By acknowledging your uniqueness, you begin to see that your life has purpose, and that purpose is not random." Think back on those times you felt misunderstood or out of place. These moments were not signs that something was wrong with you, but rather signals that you were tuned to a different channel, one that leads you beyond the ordinary script handed down by others. You were meant for more. As you recognize this, you invite yourself to actively participate in your own evolution. You step beyond the role of a passive bystander and embrace the calling of a co-creator in your destiny. By seeing the divine order behind your journey, you realize that your thoughts, choices, and dreams matter. They form the foundation of your reality. Just as the Bible says in Proverbs 16 verse 3, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." You begin to see that the opportunities, insights, and people that enter your life are not random. They are the result of divine orchestration, guiding you toward your highest potential. Your uniqueness isn't a defect, but a gift, a beacon that calls you to the extraordinary. As you accept this truth, you will begin to see patterns emerge, guiding you to opportunities that awaken your deepest potential. Every piece of guidance you receive, every insight that resonates in your heart, aligns with the divine choreography of your life. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord," in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." This journey is no accident, and every step you take, every decision you make, is part of the greater plan. Remember, chosen one, that acknowledging your uniqueness does not require you to become someone different. It calls you to be more deeply yourself. When you honor the qualities that set you apart instead of hiding them, you will find the freedom to live authentically. And from this authenticity springs the courage to follow your passions, question the norms, and chart your own course. In embracing this truth, you step into your higher calling. When you accept that there is purpose behind your presence, you open the door to greater understanding. Your challenges become lessons, your desires point to the growth your soul is seeking. Your rare encounters, like this message, become catalysts urging you toward the extraordinary destiny that awaits. As a child of God, have you ever paused to reflect on the deeper design behind your life's journey? The twists, the turns, the apparent setbacks, what if they were not random, but part of a greater cosmic plan, orchestrated by a creator who knows you intimately and loves you unconditionally? Every part of your existence, no matter how challenging or seemingly insignificant, is aligned with a divine purpose. This truth is not just a comforting notion, but a reality for those who trust in God's plan and seek His guidance through faith. The more you embrace the uniqueness of your being, the more you begin to notice the subtle ways in which the universe responds to your openness. God, in His infinite wisdom, speaks to us not always in thunderous voices, but through quiet synchronicities, a nudge in the right direction, or a moment of deep insight. You are not a random creation, but a deliberate expression of God's love and design, chosen for a specific purpose. The Bible teaches us in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." Your uniqueness is not an anomaly to be dismissed, but a signature of your soul's divine design. As you grow in your faith and understanding, you will find yourself becoming fluent in the language of your destiny, where every challenge, every relationship, and every opportunity serves as a stepping stone to greater wisdom and purpose. In embracing your uniqueness, you are embracing the path God has laid before you, one full of love, growth, and fulfillment. This is not a journey of passivity, but one of active participation, where you and God work in tandem. As C.S. Lewis once said, "God, who needs nothing, loves into existence holy and unlovable things." Your free will has never been a barrier to God's plan, but rather a vehicle through which His will is enacted in your life. What may seem like mere coincidences or random encounters are, in fact, God's divine orchestration at work. In Psalm 37 verse 23 we read, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way." When you start to view life through the lens of faith, you understand that no event is without purpose. The trials that come your way are not meant to break you, but to refine you, to strengthen you, and to shape you into the person you are called to become. Each setback is a lesson, each hardship a tool for your growth. By acknowledging this divine orchestration, you free yourself from the grip of victimhood. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "How is this guiding me closer to my purpose? What can I learn from this experience that will help me grow?" This shift in perspective allows you to see every challenge as a blessing in disguise, designed to fortify your spirit and bring you closer to the truth of who you are in Christ. In Romans 8 verse 28, the Apostle Paul assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." When you align yourself with God's greater plan, you begin to move through life with a sense of peace and purpose. The obstacles you once saw as insurmountable now seem like opportunities for growth, and your journey becomes a story of grace, faith, and transformation. In the words of C.S. Lewis, relying on God has to begin all over again every day. As if nothing had yet been done, this is the path of spiritual awakening, a continual process of trusting in God's guidance and learning to navigate life with faith, courage, and love. As you continue on this path, remember that your life is not random. It is a story being written by the hand of God, and you are not only a participant in that story, but also a co-creator, shaping your destiny through your choices, your faith, and your willingness to trust in His divine plan. Keep moving forward, knowing that with every step you are not alone. God is with you, guiding you toward a future filled with hope, purpose, and His unwavering love. Imagine slipping out of an old, ill-fitting garment and stepping into attire that truly complements your spirit. Your worth does not hinge upon external validations or outdated definitions of success. Your journey need not be measured against superficial standards. It can be guided purely by the truth that pulses within you. As these illusions fall away, clarity emerges like a sunrise piercing through a night that felt endless. Without the weight of falsehoods, you sense a profound liberation, as if you have finally opened a window in a stuffy room. Suddenly, the paths ahead appear illuminated, revealing potential routes you never thought possible. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now appear as manageable stepping stones. You realize that you hold a distinctive set of gifts, that you carry a message the world yearns to hear, and that your perspective offers a piece of the grand cosmic puzzle that no one else can supply. The qualities you once feared were insufficiencies transform into unique signatures of your soul. There is no comparison to be made. You are not less than anyone else. You are equal in stature to the grandest luminaries of history. In your own time, you will contribute, create, and influence in ways only you can. As you navigate this shedding, Invite patience and gentleness into the process. Recognize that old illusions may try to cling like burrs to your clothing, whispering familiar doubts. But the more you affirm your freedom from these distortions, the quieter they become. You may find it helpful to write down the old beliefs and ceremoniously release them through prayer, visualization, or a symbolic act of letting go. In time, the echoes of these old illusions fade, and what remains is an abiding sense of clarity. Dismantling illusions is rarely without discomfort. These beliefs may have formed the scaffolding of your old identity, giving you a known structure to lean on, even if it was cramped and confining. To leave them behind can feel unsettling, like stepping onto an unfamiliar road without a map. Yet consider the alternatives: remain ensnared by chains that were never truly yours, or walk free in the landscape of your own destiny. Remind yourself that illusions are secondhand stories. They are tapestries woven from fear and uncertainty, never from truth. By choosing to move beyond them, you align with authenticity, ushering yourself into a new phase of sovereignty and self-expression. Notions that lock you into limited roles, it's time to recognize that these dusty beliefs were never the truth of who you are. They were simply assumptions and fears projected onto you. They thrived in an environment of doubt and scarcity, where your brilliance was overshadowed by the insecurities of others or the stifling conventions of a world that too often favors uniformity over uniqueness. By pulling back these veils, you reclaim your power. You no longer wait for someone else's permission to recognize your worth. Instead, you decide firmly, lovingly, and courageously that you will see yourself clearly, embrace your gifts, and honor the depth of your potential. This process of letting go is both tender and mighty, demanding compassion as well as resolve. You do not need to reject those who taught you these illusions or condemn your past self for believing them. Rather, understand that everyone operates from their level of awareness, and sometimes that awareness is clouded by fear and misunderstanding. By acknowledging this, you free yourself from resentment and blame. You can say, "I release these illusions now," and do so with a heart at peace. Chapter 4: Trusting Your Intuition and Inner Guidance. Chosen one, with illusions now stripped away and the grand cosmic conspiracies brought into the light, you stand at the threshold of a new phase, one that beckons you to rely on an inner resource that has been quietly guiding you all along: your intuition. Intuition is more than a hunch or a fleeting guess. It is your soul's internal compass, calibrated to the unique frequency of your purpose. It directs you toward people, places, and choices that resonate with your deepest essence, and gently steers you away from what doesn't serve your highest good. Sometimes intuition arrives as a subtle warmth in your chest, a tingling sensation in your body, or a whisper in your mind that suggests a course of action before you can articulate why. Other times, it's a quiet certainty and knowingness that transcends logic and words. In all its forms, intuition is your sacred ally, leading you forward without demanding you explain every step of the way. It speaks the language of your soul, guiding you as you navigate life's path. For so long, you may have doubted this inner wisdom, prioritizing the advice of so-called experts or following the templates that society laid out. You might have learned to overthink your decisions or dismiss the signals of your heart in favor of practicality. Yet if you look back on your life, you'll likely recall moments when you trusted that voice within. Perhaps you chose a path that felt right, even when it seemed irrational, or avoided a situation because something inside you said no. Haven't these instances often led to breakthroughs, meaningful encounters, or narrow escapes from turmoil? Each time you followed that quiet nudge, you tapped into a form of divine intelligence. Intuition is not separate from the cosmos. It is your direct hotline to universal wisdom, a conduit through which God, your angels, and your guides communicate. In Romans 8:14, it is written, "For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God." Your intuition is how the universe orchestrates perfect timing and positions you at pivotal crossroads where opportunity awaits. Trusting your intuition doesn't require abandoning your intellect. On the contrary, it involves a peaceful integration of reason and feeling. Imagine your rational mind as a dedicated advisor, skilled at assessing facts and details, while your intuition is a visionary guide that grasps the bigger picture and underlying currents. When head and heart collaborate, your choices become smoother, more fluid, and more confident. You no longer find yourself endlessly second-guessing each decision or seeking validation from every external source. Instead, a sense of alignment takes root within you. You start to appreciate that life's twists and turns are not arbitrary obstacles, but carefully placed stepping stones, directing you toward growth and evolution. In this harmonious state, you shift from anxious anticipation of the future to a calm expectation of miracles, shedding illusions and embracing your truth. Look back on your life and see how far you've come. You may have traveled through deserts of uncertainty and forests of confusion, but you stand now in a field of open possibility, the sunlight of truth warming your face as you continue forward. New horizons await, landscapes where you can shape your reality and co-create with the cosmos. The illusions that once obscured your inner brilliance have no place in this unfolding narrative. In their absence, you can sense the presence of higher guidance more strongly. Trust in the signs, the synchronicities, and the quiet urgings of your soul. Secure in this trust, your journey becomes one of joyful discovery, where your worth is self-evident, your path is uniquely your own, and your life is a canvas on which you paint the colors of your unfolding story. By shedding old illusions, you prepare yourself for the chapters still ahead. You stand anchored in your authenticity, grounded in the truth of who you are, and supported by the constancy of divine intention. In this state, your potential radiates outward, touching those around you, inspiring them to question their own illusions and encouraging them to find their own truths. You, chosen one, are now free to embody the fullness of your being, free to invite grace and growth without fear, and free to blaze a trail lit by your innate brilliance. As C.S. Lewis once wrote, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." By embracing this freedom, you step into a life of purpose and divine alignment. As you cultivate a deeper trust in both your intuition and divine guidance, you find that your life begins to unfold with a sense of peace and clarity. When you align with God's plan and listen attentively to the whispers of the Holy Spirit, you realize that decisions become less about overthinking and more about flowing with grace. The burdens of uncertainty and doubt that once seemed overwhelming start to dissipate, replaced by a calm assurance that you are walking the path God has laid out for you. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Your intuition, rooted in faith, becomes an instrument of discernment, guiding you through both the significant and everyday decisions of life. You learn to say yes to what resonates with your spirit and no to what drains you, understanding that God has already equipped you with the wisdom to navigate your journey. This deepened trust also affects your relationships, as you naturally begin to attract people who honor your boundaries and share your values, people who support your spiritual growth. You become part of a community where authenticity is cherished, and your energy is met with understanding and respect. As you grow in this trust, the signs and synchronicities you once overlooked become more apparent. You begin to recognize God's hand in the little moments, understanding that nothing happens by accident. Romans 8:28 teaches us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." These subtle messages from God reaffirm that you are exactly where you need to be, walking in alignment with His will. By embracing your intuition and faith, you become a co-creator in your journey, trusting that God's wisdom is at work even when challenges arise. Your decisions flow from a place of inner truth, and as you continue to walk by faith, your life becomes a masterpiece, crafted with intention and divine purpose. As you follow the gentle whispers of your inner voice, you begin to resonate with the divine rhythm of creation itself, aligning with God's cosmic plan for your life. In the stillness, you hear a calling, not just an invitation, but a divine summons to live authentically and let your light shine without hesitation. This call is not simply a suggestion, it is a sacred command to step into your full, radiant self, unashamed of your uniqueness. God created you with purpose, and your role in His grand design is not to blend in, but to stand out as a beacon of His love, truth, and creativity. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus calls us to be the light of the world. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. This light is not meant to be dimmed or concealed by fear, societal expectations, or the judgment of others. Instead, you are called to shine unapologetically, embracing every aspect of who you are, your strengths, your imperfections, and even the parts you once thought should be hidden. Just as God created the diverse beauty of the universe, He has uniquely crafted you to shine in a way that only you can. When you step into your authenticity, you reflect God's glory, showing others that it is not in perfection or conformity that we find our purpose, but in our true, unvarnished selves. As you embrace this divine calling, you begin to attract kindred spirits, those who see the divine spark within you. These individuals are drawn to your authenticity, and together you create a community where truth, growth, and love flourish. C.S. Lewis, in his writings, often speaks about the importance of living truthfully and courageously. In The Weight of Glory, he writes, "The load or weight of glory, which is the reward for living truthfully in God's light, will be far more significant than the transient approval of the world." When challenges arise, instead of retreating into self-doubt or compromising your authenticity, you stand firm, knowing that God uses these moments as opportunities for growth. 2 Corinthians 12:9 reassures us that, "But He said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" Each setback, each trial becomes a chance to deepen your trust in God's plan and refine your understanding of who you are in Him. By committing to your authentic path, you are not only living for yourself but contributing to a greater collective good. Your authenticity becomes a gift to the world, a spark that encourages others to rediscover their own true selves. As you walk in this truth, you are not just following a path, you are helping to pave a new way, lighting the way for others to journey toward their own unique destinies. The journey of the human experience, particularly for those walking in faith, is a path that calls for unwavering trust in God's plan. It requires us to step boldly into the light of who we are without shame or pretense, knowing that our true selves are a reflection of God's divine will. As we embrace this calling, we become instruments of healing in a world desperately in need of authenticity and love. Every time we step into a room as our genuine selves, we release a ripple of divine energy, making it easier for others to do the same. Each time we speak the truth that God has placed in our hearts, we break the chains of fear and silence that keep so many hidden. In this way, we contribute to a collective awakening, where differences are celebrated and authenticity becomes an act of courage. As Christians, we are reminded in 1 Peter 2:9 that we are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His wonderful light. This calling to authentically shine is not only about personal liberation, but about glorifying God through our sincere existence. The more we trust in His light, the brighter it shines, not only in our lives but also in the lives of those around us. Like a beacon of hope, our authenticity becomes a source of inspiration and freedom, lighting the way for others to break free from the shadows of conformity. As we fully embrace our true selves, the universe aligns in miraculous ways, revealing that our lives are not a series of disconnected events, but a divine tapestry woven by God's hand. We witness this in the synchronistic moments that unfold before us, an answer to a prayer coming unexpectedly, or an opportunity arriving at the perfect time. These are not mere coincidences, but signs of God's presence, guiding us along our path. As Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." When we release the need to control and instead open ourselves to God's guidance, the flow of divine blessings becomes effortless. Opportunities arrive not as random luck, but as a testimony to God's faithful provision. This is the magic of living in alignment with His will, a constant, loving conversation with the divine where we walk in faith, trusting that the universe responds to our deepest truth. Through this journey, we witness the miracle of grace, where everything falls into place according to God's perfect plan. Begin by setting clear intentions each morning. State what you wish to learn, what qualities you hope to strengthen, and what kind of encounters you invite into your day. Then release these intentions with a sense of trust, not gripping them with desperate expectation. Maintain a journal to document your experiences, moments of alignment, people who show up unexpectedly, symbols that appear in dreams or waking life. Over time, you'll see patterns emerging, gentle confirmations that you are indeed in dialogue with something greater. Engage in quiet meditation or contemplative walks, allowing your intuition to bubble up. In this state, you'll sense where the universe is nudging you, feel where the path is smooth and where it's bumpy, and respond accordingly with grace and curiosity. As you continue to navigate this enchanted landscape, remember that the force guiding you is responsive and reciprocal. Your openness invites new miracles, and your acknowledgement of miracles invites even greater alignment. Think of it as a conversation. When you recognize the cosmic wink or the angelic whisper, you respond with a smile or a heartfelt thank you. What once felt like a challenge or misfortune now reveals itself as a subtle signpost urging you to reflect or adjust course. A plan that fails to materialize as you expect it might actually be your invisible guides whispering that a different path awaits, one more aligned with your purpose. If your efforts are momentarily blocked, it could be the universe's way of encouraging you to open your heart and mind to alternatives that better serve your soul's growth. Thus, when a door closes, you do not panic or despair, you pause and listen, trusting that the next door, perhaps even a beautiful stained glass portal, is readying itself to open. Your trust in this grand orchestration magnifies your awareness, sharpening your inner senses so that you notice opportunities that would have once slipped by unnoticed. As you acknowledge and appreciate synchronicities, they come forward more frequently, as if responding to your gratitude, like flowers growing toward the light. On this journey, you learn that miracles are not confined to earth-shaking events or supernatural spectacles. They can be subtle and soft-spoken, arising in the quiet, everyday moments. A loving note from a friend arrives just when you need encouragement. A chance meeting with an old acquaintance kindles a conversation that sparks a creative idea. The turn of a radio dial brings forth a song whose lyrics speak directly to your current dilemma, offering peace and reassurance. Each time you acknowledge these threads of meaning, you fortify the bridge between your heart and the universe's ceaseless wisdom. This bridge is your pathway to ease, guidance, and fulfillment, woven from trust, awareness, and sincere gratitude. The more you immerse yourself in this new rhythm, the clearer it becomes that you are not a lost traveler in a chaotic wilderness. Instead, you are a conscious participant in a divine choreography. Your thoughts, feelings, and intentions serve as quiet commands that the universe heeds and amplifies. In turn, the universe arranges the sets, scripts, and fellow players who share your stage. Like a painter blending colors on a canvas, you invite the elements of your life into a harmonious composition. There is no need to force a particular scene or manipulate the brush. Your authenticity naturally guides your brushstrokes, allowing the artwork of your life to unfold beautifully. This understanding offers a profound sense of relief and confidence. You realize that the universe delights not only in your achievements but in the blossoming of your spirit. There is a quiet but powerful mutual admiration between you and the cosmic intelligence. As you shine forth your unique essence, the universe acknowledges your courage and responds with tangible support. In return, you celebrate these signs with wonder rather than skepticism. This mutual respect transforms the way you approach each day. Worries soften, anxieties fade, and you hold yourself with a greater sense of calm, knowing that you're dancing hand in hand with a force infinitely larger and wiser than your individual mind. In the journey of life, we are called to trust in God's divine plan, which often unfolds in mysterious and subtle ways. As we deepen our faith and trust in Him, we begin to notice the small miracles and synchronicities that surround us. These are not merely coincidences, but signs of God's hand at work in our lives, guiding us toward our true purpose. As it says in Proverbs 3 verses 5-6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This passage reminds us that when we trust fully in God's wisdom, we find the clarity and guidance we need. When we encounter obstacles or delays, instead of growing anxious or discouraged, we are called to pause and reflect, asking, "What is God teaching me in this moment? What am I being led to see?" Just as Psalm 37 verses 23-24 assures us, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with His hand." Even in times of hardship, we are reminded that God is with us. And each challenge becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth and deeper understanding. As we embrace the rhythm of God's plan, we are invited to step into the future with faith, knowing that our choices will shape the unfolding of our lives. In this season of new beginnings, we must choose growth over stagnation, purpose over complacency, and boldness over fear. With the wisdom we've gained through our trust in God, we are empowered to live authentically, knowing that He supports us every step of the way. The miracles we experience are not fleeting moments of luck, but steady, living forces that confirm our deep connection to God. As we walk forward with Him, we carry the light of His truth, a lantern that illuminates the path ahead and guides others who are seeking their way. Through every step, we are reminded that we are never alone, and that God's grace is always with us, inviting us to trust in His plan and to shine our light for others. At every crossroads in life, we are called to deepen our trust in God's divine plan and embrace the fullness of who we are becoming. Just as the Apostle Paul reminds us in Philippians 1 verse 6, "Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." We must trust that the growth we experience is part of God's purpose for us. As we step into new chapters, we leave behind the old habits and fears that once held us back, and our hearts recognize authenticity like a song we've known all along. This new path, shaped by God's hand, calls us to listen carefully for His guidance. Just as C.S. Lewis writes in the Screwtape Letters, "The safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings, without milestones, without signposts." When we choose the path of faith, we are not called to settle or to follow the easy road. Instead, we are invited to venture into deeper, more purposeful places where our soul can grow. This path may be challenging, but it is the one that aligns with our true calling, one that will help us serve others, alleviate suffering, and create beauty in the world. Embrace the rituals that anchor you: morning meditations, reflective journaling, or conversations with those who support your growth. As we walk this journey, we are never alone. God places divine encounters in our lives: mentors, books, chance meetings, and even moments of stillness, where we hear whispers of His wisdom. These synchronicities are not mere coincidences, but signs of God's faithfulness, reminding us that we are part of a grand and beautiful orchestration. Even when doubts arise, remember that you have already overcome obstacles by surrendering to God's plan. Each setback has been a stepping stone in your growth. As you step into the future, let your faith and trust in God guide your choices. Your journey may not always be clear, but as you move forward with courage and clarity, you will find that each brushstroke on the canvas of your life reflects both your struggles and your divine purpose, painting an authentic masterpiece.